AMCON have destroyed more than 300 homes. They've gone after properties of innocent third parties, innocent Nigerians. To date, the assets recovered from our businesses is more than 45 billion naira and an 8.5 billion naira debt. AMCON held my 1-year-old daughter hostage, my nanny and my father's wife hostage for over an hour, over a debt that we have paid. I'm Managing Director and CEO of Grant Properties Limited. We're one of the pioneer real estate developers in Nigeria. The company was started by my father in 1999, and he ran it until he retired in 2014 and 2015. My sister and I have run it since then. And we've done fairly well for ourselves, if I may say so. Our first project was Goshen Beach Estate. Then we started Victory Park Estates, which has now become a problem between ourselves and Sterling Bank and the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. In 2003, we took a loan from 4 banks, then Nile Bank, Prudent Bank, Wema Bank, and First Interstate Bank, to purchase land and partly finance development of the estate. Shortly after we took the loans, 2005, consolidation, the CBN mandated the banks to recapitalize and consolidate. So the project was stalled for a few years. When we returned to site, the Wema Bank was still Wema Bank, Prudent Bank was now Sky Bank, First Interstate Bank was now Unity Bank, and Nile Bank was now Sterling Bank. We gave the banks the shares of Nigeria Limited to hold as collateral for the borrowings. We borrowed 2.6 billion naira at the time. During the period of consolidation, the banks didn't freeze interest, they just kept charging us interest, even though they were the ones that stopped funding the project because they wanted to consolidate. When we returned the site, they said the loans had ballooned because of interest. But we were able to sit down and agree a restructuring to enable us complete the project. We finished the first phase in 2009, 90 apartments. But along the line, we had some difficulties with our banks. Initially, we were told Wema Bank had some liquidity issues, Unity Bank had some liquidity issues, so they couldn't fund the project as planned. We offered to sell some of the land to enable us offset the exposure to the banks. We discovered that we weren't able to sell the land. The reasons why would become apparent later on. At some point, the government created AMCON. And for us, it was easier. Rather than deal with 4 separate entities who were having various problems, we could deal with one entity, one organization, which was government funded. For us, it was encouraging. So we approached AMCON. They say, well, once we got a letter from the first of our banks, from Sky Bank, that they had sold the loan to AMCON, we really approached AMCON with a proposal to pay. Said, AMCON, this is our project. We want to just pay you and move on. We have some land here. We want to sell off land and offset. And then we discovered there were people on our land. What's going on here? So we approached them, what's going on? They said they bought the land from Sterling Bank. So we went to Sterling Bank to complain that, well, we were told you were going to sell the loans to AMCON. So why is the collateral being dissipated? Or why is the land being dissipated? The land should be transferred along with the debt to AMCON. Why have you retained some of the land? We went to AMCON. AMCON said, that's wrong. They cannot touch the land. They can't do that. At the same time, we went to court to get an injunction to stop them from developing the land. We also approached AMCON and said, AMCON, retrieve the land for us. Initially, AMCON said, yes, they would recover the land. Eventually, the story started to change. Sterling Bank claimed they sold the land for 18,500 per square meter, 1.85 billion naira. It was 10 hectares of land. They initially claimed they sold it for 18,500 per square meter, which is 1.85 billion naira, to some unknown people. In the course of investigation, we discovered that they sold the land to Mr. Yemi Ido, who is a director of Sterling Bank, who is our competitor and our rival, who had been trying to buy our land in secret. So within 3 months, they'd sold the land to Yemi Ido. Yemi Ido had resold a portion of it for a secret profit, which would amount to about 750 million across the entire 10 hectares of land. AMCON said they would get a refund for us, that they'll ask them to refund. And we said, no, we don't want a refund. We just want our land. The land we have is adequate to pay off our debts. Take the land from them, pay off the debts, and discharge us so we can move on. Our priority is to pay off AMCON. We went to court, And AMCON initially told us to withdraw our case from court, that they would be mediating the matter. They mediated, they came up with a proposal. It was sent to the board. The AMCON board rejected the proposal. We went back to court. And on the 2nd of June 2017, the court found in our favor. The court found that Yemi Adeola and Justin Alewa, the MD and Company Secretary of Sterling Bank, respectively, had sold the land in secret. That they did not inform the other banks, the other 3 banks. They didn't inform ourselves. They didn't inform the PIC. They failed to follow all the other procedures that had been established in the course of the project. So the court said, this land should have been transferred to AMCON. Therefore, the sale is void. Now, while we were in court, they built on this land. A company called Mosam Global, which is Yemi Idowu's company, and UPDC built on the land. After we got 2 injunctions stopping them from building, they still went ahead and built over 380 houses on the land. We asked our counsel, our lawyers, to write to AMCON with a very simple proposal. We have always established that the land was sold illegally and sold secretly. We've always said that the land was adequate to pay the debt. We're now saying, AMCON, please come and take over the land. Value it. Tell us how much we owe. Take your money. If there's any remainder, return that to us and discharge us. When we went to AMCON, we asked, how much do we owe? They said, you owe 8.5 billion naira. The total principal that we borrowed on all our loans is 3.15 billion naira. When AMCON says you owe 8.5, it means there's an interest quotient of about 5.3 billion naira in there. We didn't ask for any waivers. We didn't ask for any discounts. We agreed to pay the 8.5 billion naira. So after we wrote AMCON that we wanted to pay, they came by force, sealed up our homes, sealed up our offices, took over basically rendered my family homeless. 3 generations, taking over my father's house in the village, my mother's house, my siblings' houses, my house. We're all homeless. So we said to AMCON, then they offered us, they said, we can give you a discount of 1 to 2 billion naira, but you require CBN approval. And we said, we're not asking for a discount. We're not asking for any waivers or concessions. Just since you said it's 8.5 billion naira, we know that the assets that you have taken over are worth more than 8.5 billion naira. Simply take your money and return our change to us, and we'll walk away. The next thing we heard was AMCON said the debt is now no longer 8.5 billion naira, but that before we can start any negotiations, we had to sign an undertaking. The undertaking said you will not go to police, you will not go to EFCC, you will not go to the media, you will not go to any law enforcement agency, you will not complain about anything that AMCON is doing to you in the course of this recovery. And so we asked, why? Why would you ask us to sign an undertaking that we will not go to EFCC? First of all, AMCON reported us to EFCC in March or April of 2017, accusing us of selling AMCON land. We went to EFCC with our documents and our lawyers, and we told our story. And EFCC said, well, based on the initial preliminary investigation, they couldn't see a case against us. We had documents. And the next thing we're hearing from AMCON is that the debt is no longer 8.5 billion naira, it is now 22 billion. And we asked, how is it 22 billion naira? They said it's based on our posture. They said the debt is 22 billion based on your posture. We're going to protect Yemi Idowu. We will not let you take money from Yemi Idowu. And then we will take properties from third parties until you agree to surrender. They put these things in writing. AMCON put it in writing. They've gone after properties of innocent third parties, innocent Nigerians. People have lost their homes, their properties, their businesses over a debt that we have paid. The last statement we received from AMCON said our balance was 6.5 billion naira in 2014. So when we sat down with you in 2017, with AMCON in 2017, knowing that the last statement had said that it was 7 billion naira, and he says 8.5, it made sense to us. So we didn't dispute it. We'll pay it in full. How do you get from 8.5 to 22 billion? Can you provide us a statement, please? To date, AMCON has not given us a statement. The last I heard, in our last meeting, they said the debt was now 33 billion naira. And we asked how. The MD of AMCON, Mr. Ahmed Kura, said to us several times that we owe you a duty to render account. So why haven't they rendered account? What are they hiding? They wrote to the residents of Goshen Beach Estate, people who have been in their homes for almost 20 years, to come and show their title documents. So they're going to go after those properties again. These are innocent Nigerians. AMCON have destroyed more than 300 homes. Recreation businesses destroyed. We had building materials running to billions of naira. Construction equipment, building materials, all carted away without an inventory. AMCON is selling assets in secret. AMCON is taking over properties belonging to innocent Nigerians in secret. So we are basically using the powers of the federal government of Nigeria to oppress innocent Nigerians. Our staff have lost their jobs. They've lost their pensions. They sold my wife's car. They sold my wife's jewelry. I've been kidnapped by police. The police came to my house, jumped over my fence, and took me away at gunpoint. They had no warrant for my arrest. They had no letter of invitation, nothing. They took me around from court to court until we got to a court that said, release this man. It was only then that they were forced to release me. AMCON held my child, Lanre Oluwa and AMCON held my 1-year-old daughter hostage, my nanny and my father's wife hostage for over an hour. We found Lanre Oluwa's staff outside my children's school on 2 occasions. I've had to change their school twice. I have received numerous death threats. My life is no longer safe. It's clear that they are protecting Sterling Bank and Yemi Do and Cadogan Estates by all means. AMCON shouldn't be doing this. AMCON should be independent. AMCON's job is simply to recover a debt. And I say boldly, I make it get clear boldly today that we have paid AMCON. So I'm asking the MD of AMCON, what more do you want? So I'm begging the board of AMCON, I am begging the Central Bank of Nigeria, I'm begging the EFCC to please come and investigate this matter. Appoint independent auditors, and you will find out the truth. You will vindicate us that indeed we have paid our debts in full.
This expression, I expect that he should be doing it in court, because it's not judicial for me to be talking about a case that is ongoing in court. You can't win a case that is ongoing. There has not been any final say on that case. And that's why we are still holding his assets. When we settle or when we exit, they are normally given a letter of non-indebtedness. We haven't issued one to him.
Okay, so if the case is in court, sir, why are his properties being destroyed?
Because if there's an enforcement of his property, it's going to be under our building until the case is settled.
Okay, peradventure he wins the case, sir. What will happen to those structures that have been pulled down?
The court